What's up, everybody? It's Meech. You're tuned into On the Radar. Obviously, I haven't been posting in a while, and we all see what's been going on, and I want to have a talk with you guys about it. So, first thing I want to say is a lot of people have been asking me my thoughts and my opinions and why I haven't been online, all this stuff. First and foremost, I feel like this. When it comes to these type of situations, I don't just run to social media like a lot of people and you know, voice my opinion and repost stuff and all that. I used to do that years ago. I'm off all of that. I really sit back and analyze what's happening, what's going on, and I take some time to really see what's really happening and form my own opinion. And I also feel like everything isn't for social media. Everything isn't like, I honestly don't understand why a lot of people feel like they have to hear from everyone. You have to hear what this person has to say. You have to hear what that person wants to say. We want to hear from you and this and that. Listen, how do you feel? How are you dealing with the situation? And what are you doing to make things better? Those are the things I sit there with myself and I really think about. I don't fool myself in thinking if I'm posting things on social media, if I'm posting stuff on Instagram, I'm commenting and I'm going back and forth having conversations and arguing with people and this and that. I don't fool myself into thinking that I'm doing something and I'm making a change. No disrespect to anybody that does, but that's just me. I don't get myself caught up in those things. I used to, not anymore. I don't feel like, you know, too many people, they post on whether it's YouTube, Instagram, they come online, they say stuff, they post stuff, they do all this stuff and they really feel like they're doing something. You're not, but do you? So, of course, you know me, I got my notes. I don't want to forget anything. There's a bunch of points that I want to touch on. So bear with me. But just off the bat, you know, a lot of people are obviously hurt. I'm a black man in America. Obviously, I know what's going on. I see what's going on. Obviously, I feel a certain way. So you don't have to ask or wonder what's your take or how do you feel, man. Who cares? You understand? My whole thing is I'm not into all the drama, all the back and forth, the arguing, the debating. What are we going to do? That's always my thing. What is the solution? What are we going to do? If nobody has a real solid solution of what we need to do, what we're going to do, I don't really want to hear it. Call me. Let me know when you know you have a real plan, and let's make things happen. Other than that, I don't have time for it. But obviously, I have my feelings. Obviously I pay attention to what's going on. I just don't consume myself with it all day, because consuming myself with it all day only stresses me out, and my mental health and all those things is not worth being stressed out. I'm stressed out enough just surviving in this country. So first and foremost, I want to go through some things to show you guys some stuff that I'm seeing. But before I get to that, I want to address a couple of things. The police are still running around out there, despite obviously we've seen this man, George Floyd, get killed with a foot in his with a knee in his neck. There's these other situations, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor. We've seen all these other situations that are still happening. A lot of people are hitting me up trying to let me know that, you know, they're showing me things that they're posting, and they're trying to let me know that, you know, they're now for the cause and all this. And I got to say this to all the white people who are genuinely down for this cause, not just this cause, but for, if you just care about black people and human beings, then you already, you know, stand up for any type of injustice, no matter who it's against. But I'm talking about all these newfound people who now they want to protest. Now they've had this moment of enlightenment where now they're like, wow, this is real. Oh my God. I'm sitting there like, really? This is what it took for you to really understand now how serious this situation is and what we've been dealing with. It took for you to see this man be killed for 9 minutes with a knee in his neck. Finally, a situation where you can't dispute it. You can't make up some excuse. You can't make up something in your head that gives you an excuse to ignore it. Oh, he was resisting. Oh, he had a criminal record. Oh, he should have just complied, or all of these things. Now, this is what it took for people to wake up. Sorry, I'm not trying to hear you. I don't believe you. I just, there's a lot of people who have been saying to me directly, indirectly, and I've just been hearing it, where there's a lot of white people who feel like now is the time that they want to speak up, and before they just was fearful to speak up on certain issues because of the backlash that they might have from their friends, family, and community, because they know, although they may not be racist or they may not feel like, they have any issues with black people, they know their friends, their family, and their general community does. So it makes them uncomfortable speaking out against things because of the backlash. So now all of a sudden those people, feel empowered to speak out. My thing is, if you feel that way against the people in your family, community, and friends and all that, if you always felt your whole life that you had to be silent because you were afraid of what they would say and how they would treat you, just think about how we feel and what we have to deal with every day in society. So, in all honesty, those people, I'm not trying to hear you. It's like, all right, cool, waking up now, but I'm not trying to hear it. And honestly, that goes directly to some people that I even know. I watch people. I always watch people. I watch the moves that they make. I watch the things that they post on social media. I watch how they respond to certain things over the years. And whenever it came to things that was serious and tragic that happened to black people, they always found a way to just not speak about it. And I've always noticed that. So now all these people, now, like I said, they have this newfound epiphany. I'm not trying to hear it. The same thing with a lot of these companies. A lot of these companies now are making statements and things like that because now it's the end thing to do. It's the cool thing to do. And I'm not trying to hear it. It's all a publicity stunt. It's PR. That's all it is. I don't believe you. A lot of these companies, listen, I'm not with the looting. I don't respect that. I'm not with that. I'm not okay with that. I don't like it. But at the same time, I understand to a degree the frustration that some of these people feel. Now, there's definitely a lot of people out there that are just opportunists and they're screwing things up for people. And I'm not with that. But at the same time, a lot of these companies, like, I don't care at the same time, because a lot of these companies, I don't feel bad for them because a lot of these major corporations, they come into our communities, they make money off of us. They don't care when something happens to us. We spend millions and we spend billions actually with these companies, and they don't care about us. They come into our communities and they don't do anything to boost the community. They don't do anything to help. When there's injustices against us, they don't care. So now that it's the end thing to speak out, some of these companies want to speak out. I'm not trying to hear it. And that's why I don't care when your stores are getting looted. Now, on the flip side to that, I really, really have a problem with people who are just randomly destroying their community. They're destroying the local stores. They're destroying the few mom and pop stores that are left. And that's just, it doesn't make any sense. I don't respect that. At the same time, though, even a lot of those businesses don't have any real ties with the community, and that's part of the problem. A lot of those companies come into the communities, they don't respect the people that's there, so they don't get the respect back. So they come into the communities, they don't respect the people, they take the money, they take it out of the community, and that's why there's a lack of respect. Because they come into our communities and they don't actually have any connection with the community. That's the problem. And this is why you have these situations. Again, I don't think we should be destroying our communities. I don't think we should be destroying our local stores because we have to shop. We have to get the things that we need. Where else are we going to go? I always say this. If you have a problem with somebody, you go to the person you have the problem with and you deal with them. I'm not trying to provoke any violence or anything like that. But the truth is the people in Minneapolis, they had a problem with that police station, that police, the police there. They went to the police station and burned it down. That's dealing with the people that you have a direct problem with. Now, I have my mixed feelings about that also, because I kind of wonder, how was it that they just so easily burnt that police station down without any repercussions? How was that possible? Meanwhile, they had numerous police at this officer's house to protect him. We'll get into that later. So, like I said, a lot of people are just on the bandwagon, and I'm not trying to hear it. I don't really care about, I've been having conversations with people, and I've been saying, because people come to me, oh, did you see what this person posted online? And you see what this person had? No, I don't care. I'm not. I'm really not reading a lot of stuff, because I don't care what certain individual people have to say. I don't care about if you, like I said, if you have an epiphany now and now you think, Black Lives Matter. Where was you before? Anyway, at the end of the day, no matter what we're doing, the protesting is cool, but it took public outrage in a major way just for these police officers to be arrested. And as we know, initially it was just the one cop. Then it took a while for the other ones. If there wasn't people videotaping, then this man would have died like everybody else does. Every other black person, they would have died, and it would have just been nothing. So it had to get filmed by the public. It had to be put out publicly. And then it took massive public outrage all across the country in order for this cop to get arrested. Despite what he did being on video, and it's clear what he did. It took all of that public unrest for them to be arrested. Now let's see what actually happens. Now here's the thing. Once all of these, okay, now these guys got arrested. Okay, cool. That's nice. But are they going to get convicted? And if they get convicted, are they going to get convicted at the maximum that they should be convicted at? And are they going to serve that amount of time? Probably not, because we know how this is played out in the past. Another thing is, what is going to be done to ensure that this whole systematic oppression from the police stops? See, because we can fight this one battle as we've done in the past, and then everything will die down, and then things will go back to being the way it was until the next thing happens. So if we don't find a way to make a full change and hold these police officers accountable to make it not happen, but if it does happen, they get held accountable like regular citizens. Because we all know, if that was me and 3 of my friends that held somebody down in the street and did what those cops did, we've all been arrested immediately. And we would have all been charged with murder immediately. And we would have all been considered to be a bunch of animals with no regard for life. But somehow it's always different when it's a cop. Somehow it's always different when it's a white cop, especially. For everyone who keeps saying all cops are not bad. All cops are not bad. Okay, well, listen. We all know that all cops are not bad. But I don't want to hear that, because listen, at the end of the day, where are all the good cops who are united that are standing against the bad cops? Where's all the good cops that we can point out that take a united stand to stand up and say, we're the good guys and we're going to police the bad guys. We're going to make sure these things, that they don't do the wrong. And when they do the wrong, we're going to call them out. If we're on the scene and we see things happening, we're going to put a stop to it. They don't exist. So let's stop playing. At the end of the day, the police are equivalent to a gang. And if you don't fall in line with the gang's initiative, you're going to be outcasted. You're going to be, you're going to be treated like an outsider. You're going to be treated like, the enemy, basically. So even the good cops have to fall in line. But that goes against, your principles as a man. That goes against the oath that you take to be an officer and to protect the public, to protect the weak, to protect the innocent. It goes against all of that. So until these cops stand up in this way, you're all part of the problem. You're all part of the system. You're just like them. Because if I'm in a gang and most of my gang buddies are committing crime, killing people, selling drugs, doing all bad, you're not going to care about the 5 of us that's in the gang that like, wait, we're good guys. We're just in a gang and these are just our friends. It's not going to matter to you. You're going to say you're with the people who are doing bad and you're doing nothing to stop it. So you're as guilty as they are. So let's stop the games with the all cops are not good. All cops are not bad. People are saying, did you hear about Drew Brees? What he said? I don't care about what an athlete is saying. He's an idiot. I don't care. People say, oh, did you hear about Obama? I don't care about what Obama's saying. At the end of the day, when Obama was in office, a lot of this police killing and police brutality stepped up. It ramped up. And he didn't do anything to do anything about it. He didn't sign any executive orders. He didn't do anything substantial to put an end to it. It kept going and getting worse under his watch. So now that he's out of office, I don't want to hear him criticizing what Trump is doing. And I ain't even going to touch on what Trump is doing. I'm just not. You all see what he's doing. You all know what he's doing. No need to even touch on that. The media isn't showing you how there's all of these bricks being laid out in public places where they're rioting, where they're protesting. And it's the police are doing things to incite the riots. Police are burning things, breaking windows. They are just beating the hell out of people for no reason. There's tons of videos out there where you see police agents in the middle of the riots. You see them, like I said, there's all these pallets of bricks that are being left in these different areas. There's videos of police burning and breaking their own cars and doing all this madness. For anybody who is still confused or not properly informed or just don't seem to fully get what's going on, I want you to take something into consideration. Despite all these protests, despite everybody being outraged, despite the world, not just the country, but the world paying attention to what's going on, and finally, so many people are finally waking up to the injustices that we as black people face in this country by the hands of the police. Still, they're in full public display on camera doing all sorts of illegal brutality against people who are protesting. So you have to understand, after everything that's going on, they still feel empowered to do these things that they're doing. They're not stopping. They're not letting up. That tells you something. That tells you something about the mindset of these police officers. It also shows you something about the mindset of the people that puts them into position. It tells you about the government, the local governments, the police force. And then that's the whole everything. Again, you see what Trump is doing. You see none of these other politicians are really stepping up to do anything. There's tons and tons of video that you can look online, and you can see that they're still brutalizing people on camera, and they don't seem to care. There's many officers that are getting arrested, not getting arrested, but they're losing their jobs, and they're still doing it. So this tells you that it is a lot deeper than just a few bad apples, because that's always the way they try to make it look. They always try to tell you it's just a few bad apples, just a few bad apples, and when it's a white person that shoots up a school or does something crazy like that, it's just, oh, he's a lone wolf. But then when a black person does something wrong, it's, they're just bad people, and they're all bad, and they all need to be contained, and they need to be controlled, and all this. But the large majority of these cops are white. So what do you say about them? Now, I'm going to go through this a little bit. For anybody who may not still may be blind to this, I want you to go on Baller Alert on Instagram. I was on here today, and I was just scrolling through because one video caught my attention, and I just started scrolling through, seeing a lot of stuff, right? So I want to point these things out for anybody that still is a little bit confused. Now, there's this one video on here of, I don't know where, it's in Buffalo. It's a ton of cops walking wherever they're walking. There's this elderly man, he's a white guy, very old, looks very frail. He walks up to the cops, he's saying something. I'm not sure what he's doing or what he's saying, but he wasn't being violent, wasn't attacking the officers or anything, and they push him to the ground. They push him to the ground. He falls over. He bangs his head. If you look closely, you can see that there's blood leaking out the back of his head. One cop stops to check on him. The other cop that's closest to him pushes him away and just like, no, keep walking. Now, it's very interesting that they just don't seem to care. And now you see even more. They're doing it to white people, and now what's happening because they're standing up for black people. So now it puts you in the same. They're putting you in the same position that they put us in. They're looking at you saying, "Oh, you're with them? Okay, so you're with them. You're against us. So you get it too." So you just have to start waking up. So these things that we're seeing, again, these are things we've been dealing with forever, and people always chose to find a way to overlook it. Now it's happening. They're doing it to everybody, and again, they're doing it blatantly in front of everybody. They don't care. They know the cameras are on them. Here's another video in New York. The guy walks up to the cop. They're setting up barricades. The guy asks the cop, "Why is your name tag covered up?" And the cop says, "Well, this is what we're told to do. We can't give out our identities." The guy's asking the cop for his identity, and he's like, "No, you're not getting it. Times have changed." What does that mean? And why would the cops feel like now they have to hide their name and their badge number? Does that make you feel safe? Does that make you feel like they're on your side? Let's move on. The White House is putting up barricades around the whole White House. I don't know if you've seen that or heard about it. Check it out. Ask yourself why. Fashion Nova Cares donates $1 million in donations for community resources and activism. These things are cool. Like I said, it's okay. But like I said, number one, where were all these companies before? And are they going to keep this up long term, or is this just something for the moment because it seems like the thing to do, because all eyes are on everybody right now? Video shows police destroying a medical station at North Carolina protest. Mayor asks for answers. So again, These police officers are out there destroying medical stations that people have set up. Now, Trump tear gassed those people to do a photo op, and then he's telling you that didn't happen. Now, for his constituents who follow him, you have to ask yourself, how is it possible that these people just go with that? They go with that narrative because that's what they want, because they're on the same racist page that he's on. So racist people find any excuse and any possibility to ignore everything that they see and to spin it in ways that helps them. Let's look at something else. A child posting racial injustice flyers assaulted by a cyclist. So this is, again, more white people who are attacking other white people because these white people are upset that they're standing up for black people. So I want to ask you guys something. We always hear about black on black crime. People like to throw that out there. Well, why don't we ever hear about white on white crime? Why is that? You're seeing that a lot right now. You're seeing cops beat up a whole lot of white people. You're seeing them assault a whole lot of white people. You're seeing civilians attack and assault their own. Why is that not being labeled as white on white crime? I'm looking at another video where this white woman walks up and she's flipping out on these people and she's destroying a memorial that they set up. Why isn't that considered white on white crime? Now, I'm sure most of us know about that and know why, so I'm not going to get into it. But if you don't understand, I'm not going to explain right now. I want you to think about it. Now, here's another video that I see. All this is on Baller Alert, by the way, so you can go to Instagram and look this stuff up. And I can go to a ton of different sites, but this is just the one that just I happen to see at the moment. Now, wherever this is, I'm going to try to see where it's in Oakland, California. There's a video of people driving past. I'm assuming that it says that they're peaceful protesters, and the anti-protesters attack the people. So there's these, it seems like 3 or 4 white guys, they're driving past in a car. They're like stopped at a light. They're creeping through the intersection. And one of the people on the sidewalk, another white person, walks up to him and attacks one of the people in the car. Obviously, the guys in the car jump out, and there's police all around. There's police all around, right there. And they start attacking the people in the car. Obviously, the people in the car, they start defending themselves. They start fighting back. What does the cops do? First of all, before we touch on that, let's look at the situation and ask yourself, if you're standing on a street corner and you're surrounded by cops are everywhere. Cops are on the sidewalk. Cops are in the street. There's tons of them. How do you feel so comfortable to punch somebody in the face that's driving past in a car? So when these guys in the car start fighting back, what does the police do? The police rush the guys in the car who were defending themselves. You have to ask yourself, how? How is that possible? Now, they said, from what I'm reading the comments, they said one of the guys was black. I don't see it. Maybe he was. Maybe I don't know. I can't tell by what I see in the video, but I see the white guy. Or maybe I'm looking at this wrong. I definitely see the white guy. Either way, doesn't matter the color in this situation. I want to know, how is it that these anti-protesters feel like they can do this, and they did. And why is it that the cops are arresting and tackling the guys that are defending themselves? Very interesting. So here you have another video. People are walking around minding their business. Obviously, they're protesting. But this cop just walks around and he just starts randomly spraying people. And he's just pacing around looking for somebody. And he just starts randomly spraying people. This is in Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama. He just starts randomly, just running up on people. And that's okay, right? They feel that comfortable where they can just do it. Now, there's also another video, a picture that's attached to the same clip. It's showing somebody with a hole in their leg. And then they're showing some police sniper on the roof. Now, I can't confirm because this is all picture and not video. A lot of stuff can be photoshopped. I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying it's not. All I'm saying is stuff like this, I can't confirm unless it's on video or it's from a certain proven source. But you just have to ask yourself, if this is a real situation, why is there a police sniper on the roof during protesting? And we're supposed to trust the police and respect them, and it's all supposed to be okay, right? Did you see the video where the guy jumped out with his bow and arrow, aiming it at people, and then all the people rushed him and beat his ass, and it was mostly white kids? And what did the guy say on camera? He said 2 black guys beat me up. He said 2 guys punched me through my window. When it clearly shows why he got his ass beat. And it wasn't 2 black guys. It was a whole bunch of people. And the majority of them were white. You have to ask yourself, why do people feel the need? And this is for people who don't seem to understand. I want you to ask yourself, why do you think he felt the need to say that? Why do you think he got his ass beat in the first place? Why was he standing there waving in the middle of traffic, waving a bow and arrow around? Okay, we're just going to do a few more. So here we have police in Minneapolis just spraying people at random for no reason. We have another video of protesters in Austin, Texas, being shot with rubber bullets. They said some of these people were being shot in the head. And these people, from what I see, they were walking across the street. They were carrying somebody who was already must have been laid out, probably shot. And the police are just randomly shooting people. And all these people are getting laid out. Now, we've already seen videos. I'm sure most of you have seen videos where they're assaulting media. They're literally smacking the media around. They're shooting the media. They're hitting them with the shields. They're beating up the media. They are arresting the media. It's like it's open season on everybody. And it's open season on everybody because everybody is choosing to protest for black people. You notice that? It's interesting. Very, very interesting. So I'm just going to go through a few more because you can go check this stuff out. Here's another cop. He's randomly beating the hell out of some guy on a bike for no reason. He's moving past. There's a whole bunch of people out there on bikes. And this looks like this is in New York. This guy's riding past on his bike. He's trying to get away, and he's just beating the hell out of him with the baton. And that's okay. They feel this comfortable to do these things. There was a report, there was a video the other day where they started shooting and tear gassing people who were on their porch. They were in their doorway of their house. And I guess that breaks the curfew law because you're standing in your doorway. And they got mace, they got tear gas. This video right here, this man is being in Buffalo, New York. He's being interviewed by the police and he's holding his hand. Now he's being interviewed on camera by the news and he's holding his hands up and the cops come over and they rush him and they tackle him. Why? All of this is they feel this comfortable. There are people who are driving cars. There's multiple videos in multiple places of people driving cars through protesters. Here's another video. Police in California in Compton. They're arresting someone. I don't know why, but they're beating the hell out of this man. It's 3 officers. The guy's on the ground and 3 officers are just pounding on him, just beating the shit out of him. And they know they're being recorded. They're kicking them. They're punching them. This man's on the ground. Yo, I can go on and on and on. Here's another video. These people are just walking past a group of at least 5 or 6 cops. They're walking past on the street corner, and as they walk past, the cops just spray them. No reason. These people are walking past, minding their business. So I'm not going to go on and on and on and on and on because I think you get it. But you have to ask yourself again, as I said before, if they're still doing these things, and there's so much more. If they're still doing these things now, and they under this climate, under this situation, a lot of them in the past couple of weeks have been fired for these same types of reckless violations. They still feel comfortable to do it. They know that they're being recorded. So if you're finally able to see all of these things and open your eyes to it, just think about how long they've been doing these things to us and nobody was listening. Excuse me. Just think about that. So think about how we feel. Think about the levels of frustration that we feel. Just think about that. I'm done.